President Donald Trump says U.S. Air Force will soon have the most advanced fighter jets in the world. President Trump has awarded a contract to Boeing to begin production of the F-47. Meanwhile, a federal judge challenges the Trump administration over its use of a Wartime Era Act to deport migrants accused of being gang members.
In a dramatic unveiling that marks a turning point in military aviation, the United States has introduced the F-47 NGAD, the world's first sixth-generation strike fighter. With a unit price of $300 million and capabilities far beyond its predecessors, the F-47 isn't just a new jet. It's a statement of power, precision, and future dominance in the skies. Revealed under President Trump, this ultra-stealth aircraft represents the centerpiece of the U.S. Air Force's next-generation air dominance NGAD program. Set to replace the iconic F-22 Raptor, of which only 186 were ever built, the F-47 aims to surpass it in every category, from speed and stealth to weapons and intelligence. With plans to acquire at least 250 units, the U.S. is signaling a deep commitment to maintaining supremacy in increasingly contested airspaces. This is more than just a new warplane. It's the spearhead of a strategic pivot, a machine designed to own the air in a world where adversaries are building fast and fighting smarter. The F-47 combines digital warfare, manned-unmanned teaming, and battlefield awareness in one sleek, nearly invisible frame. But what makes this aircraft's arrival even more compelling is how close it came to never flying at all. Just a year before its reveal, the program stood on the edge of cancellation. Almost canceled, the fighter that nearly didn't fly. The road to the F-47 NGAD's debut was nearly cut short. In late 2024, after years of classified development, the program was abruptly paused for reassessment. The price tag seemed too steep, and the rise of unmanned aerial vehicles led some defense leaders to question the wisdom of investing in another manned fighter jet. With UAVs dominating the headlines in Ukraine and elsewhere, skepticism grew. Was the era of piloted superjets already over? But behind closed doors, war simulations told a different story. In multiple high-intensity conflict scenarios, especially in the Indo-Pacific theater, unmanned platforms alone failed to deliver decisive outcomes. Stealth drones were intercepted, long-range bombers couldn't operate without air cover. And when it came to highly contested airspace, one constant emerged. Without the NGAD, the U.S. lost critical advantage. That data saved the program. The NGAD proved it wasn't just a relic of old war thinking, it was a necessity. A fighter with the situational awareness, survivability, and adaptability to lead the next era of air dominance. Congress reversed course, funding surged back in, and the jet that almost died became the jet poised to change everything. With new momentum, the U.S. committed not just to a few units, but to a full production run. A bold decision, especially given the staggering cost ahead. The $50 billion gamble. The F-47 NGAD may be a marvel of engineering, but it comes with a staggering price tag. With research and development costs clocking in at $20 billion and each aircraft priced around $300 million. The initial order of 100 fighters alone brings the total bill close to $50 billion, and that's only the beginning. Once full deployment is underway, analysts expect costs to balloon even further. It now stands as one of the most expensive fighter programs in U.S. history, rivaling the F-35's long and controversial journey. But unlike previous generations, the NGAD is not being built for peacetime deterrence alone. It's being built with a very specific war in mind. A war where speed, stealth, and smart coordination could mean the difference between air dominance and defeat. As tensions rise in the Indo-Pacific and the U.S. shifts focus toward countering a peer adversary, the investment begins to look less like a gamble and more like insurance. Simulations show that in a high-end conflict with China, traditional assets could be outmatched or overwhelmed. The NGAD, with its unmatched stealth and sensor suite, offers a way to stay ahead. The price may be astronomical, but in the Pentagon's eyes, the cost of losing air superiority could be far higher. And in this arms race, there's no standing still, because while America builds its next fighter, so does its greatest rival. Built for war with China. From its inception, the F-47 NGAD has been shaped by one guiding principle: to counter the rise of China's rapidly advancing Air Force. Over the past decade, Chinese military aviation has accelerated beyond expectations, with multiple next-gen aircraft entering testing and limited service. In 2024, two mysterious tailless fighters were spotted during satellite sweeps, airframes unlike anything seen before, setting off alarms across U.S. defense agencies. War games conducted by the Pentagon only deepen the urgency. In dozens of simulated scenarios involving Taiwan or South China Sea conflicts, American air forces struggled. To maintain dominance without a platform like the NGAD, drones were jammed, satellites were blinded, older fighters were detected and destroyed before getting within range. The F-47 changed that equation. Built to operate deep in contested zones, undetected and unchallenged, the NGAD isn't just another stealth fighter, it's a breakthrough. It's what gives the U.S. first strike advantage again. It's what keeps the aircraft carriers relevant in a hypersonic world. It's the answer to China's growing fleet of stealth fighters and AI-guided UAVs. This aircraft was not built for yesterday's wars. It was built for the one that could come tomorrow, faster than we think. And its fiercest rival may already be waiting. China's J-36, the fierce rival. In late 2024, the global defense community was stunned when images of two new Chinese stealth fighters emerged online. Both were tailless, sleek, and large, bearing an uncanny resemblance to speculative sixth-generation designs. Soon, analysts began calling them the J-36s, believed to be China's direct response to the U.S. NGAD program. And their presence changed the stakes overnight. With a delta wing design and no vertical stabilizers, the J-36 represents a leap in stealth capability. It's larger than the existing J-20, hinting at long-range operations and heavy payloads. Even more intriguing, one variant appears to be unmanned, possibly an AI-powered wingman designed to fly in formation with the manned jet. If true, China is not only mirroring America's CCA strategy, but pushing its own version into deployment faster than expected. This development confirmed what U.S. generals had long feared. The sixth-generation fighter race isn't theoretical anymore. It's here, and it's competitive. The J-36 may not yet match the NGAD in systems or sensors, but it signals intent and capability. China isn't playing catch-up. It's positioning to leap forward. The emergence of the J-36 gave renewed urgency to the U.S. program, reinforcing the NGAD's role not just as a new fighter, but as the tip of the spear in a new kind of air war, one defined by invisibility, autonomy, and machine speed decision-making. And that war will be shaped by designs so radical, they seem to defy the laws of physics. A fighter without tails, the shape of the future. One glance at the F-47 NGAD, and it's clear this isn't just an upgrade, it's a redesign of the very concept of flight. For the first time in U.S. Air Force history, a frontline fighter has been built without vertical stabilizers. No tail fins, no traditional control surfaces. Just a sleek, triangular form optimized for stealth and controlled by pure digital instinct. This radical shift is made possible through active flow control, a system where thousands of micro-adjustments, managed by AI, mimic how birds adjust their feathers mid-flight. The result is uncanny agility, precision in high-speed maneuvers, and almost complete radar invisibility. The airframe isn't just futuristic, it's functional art. By removing protruding surfaces, the F-47 reduces its radar signature to near zero. There are no external fuel tanks, no weapon pylons. Everything, missiles, fuel, sensors, is tucked inside. It's the cleanest warplane the world has ever seen. And in contested airspace, that silence could be the difference between survival and destruction. While stealth has always been a hallmark of advanced fighters, the NGAD takes it into a new dimension. It's not hiding from radar, it's erasing its presence entirely. And that erasure doesn't end with the body. It continues with the skin itself because the surface of this aircraft is not just structure. It's sensor, shield, and signal all in one. Stealth redefined, ghost in the sky. Stealth used to mean angles and coatings. Now it means intelligence. The F-47's exterior is more than just a shell. It's a living interface, a smart skin that interacts with the environment, and the gone are the traditional radar arrays. Somehow, in their place, the skin itself absorbs, deflects, and manipulates electromagnetic signals in real time. Drawing on lessons from the B-2 Spirit and F-22 Raptor, the NGAD reimagines stealth not as a passive design, but as an active, adaptive function. Enemy radar doesn't just struggle to detect it, it's often fooled entirely. The jet can alter its electromagnetic profile mid-flight, presenting false signatures or disappearing from sight altogether. This makes the F-47 especially dangerous in denied environments. It can fly deep into enemy territory, gather intelligence, strike high-value targets, and vanish before response systems even come online. It's not just hard to see, it's hard to prove it was ever there. For adversaries, this presents a terrifying problem. How do you defend against something you can't detect? Traditional air defenses rely on layers: detection, tracking, targeting. NGAD bypasses all three. It becomes a ghost in the sky, present only when it chooses to be. And when it does reveal itself, it's not alone. Because the F-47 doesn't just fight solo, it brings an entire squadron with it. Sensors that see everything. Where older fighters rely on cockpit displays and pilot judgment, the F-47 NGAD brings in an entirely new level of awareness. This jet doesn't just see, it understands. Its skin is laced with embedded sensors that feed into a real-time battlefield intelligence system. Infrared, electromagnetic, acoustic, all fused and analyzed at machine speed. From 50,000 feet, the NGAD can detect ship movements on the sea, vehicle convoys on the ground, or airborne threats from hundreds of miles away. And this data isn't siloed. It's streamed to every connected unit, drones, AWACS, even Navy ships, creating a digital web where every asset sees what the NGAD sees. In the cockpit, pilots don't just fly, they command. Augmented reality helmets overlay tactical data directly onto the pilot's view. Targets are highlighted. Terrain is mapped in 3D. Threat vectors are displayed before they emerge. This turns the F-47 into more than a fighter. It's a mobile command center, a flying sensor array, a forward operating node in a digital battle space. In contested zones where communications may be jammed or GPS denied, the NGAD becomes the eyes and ears of the operation. But perhaps its most powerful advantage is how it leverages others, not through orders, but through autonomy. Because flanking the NGAD are allies without pilots, built to follow, protect, and, if needed, die first. The Loyal Wingmen, unmanned force multipliers. When the F-47 NGAD takes to the skies, it's rarely alone. Flying in close formation are two highly advanced AI-driven aircraft, unmanned, fearless, and lethal. Known as CCAs, Collaborative Combat Aircraft, these Loyal Wingmen redefine what it means to fly as a unit. They don't follow commands, they anticipate needs. Each wingman is equipped with its own sensors, weapons, and mission objectives. Some carry extra missiles. Others serve as decoys, baiting enemy defenses. Some are designed for jamming and cyber warfare, turning enemy radars into static and confusion. Most crucially, they expand the NGAD's reach and survivability. A human pilot can remain protected while the CCAs push forward into danger zones. If one is lost, another launches. The cost of each UAV is a fraction of a manned jet, and their software evolves with every mission. With over 1,000 units planned, the Air Force is preparing to shift from single fighter operations to swarms, autonomous, intelligent, and self-coordinating. It's not just about more firepower. It's about redefining what a squadron is. And while these systems are powerful out of the box, they're built with something far more ambitious in mind: the ability to evolve. Because tomorrow's enemy may demand tools we haven't even imagined yet. Open architecture, built to evolve. In past generations, fighter jets were locked systems, designed for a specific era, often outdated before they reached full deployment. The F-47 NGAD changes that entirely. It's built on open architecture, a modular design philosophy that allows new systems, weapons, and even software to be integrated in real time. Need a new AAI pilot module? Plug it in. A next-gen hypersonic missile, mounted internally without redesigning the fuselage. Quantum sensors, updated stealth coatings, new drone interfaces, all can be layered into the airframe without grounding the fleet. This adaptability makes the NGAD future-proof, capable of outpacing threats as they emerge. It's not a finished product, it's a platform, one that can grow with the battlefield, evolve with enemy capabilities, and adapt to new missions without delay. In many ways, the NGAD is more than a fighter. It's the launch pad for the 7th generation, a system that won't just change how we fly, but how we think about war in the air. And it's only just beginning. Hypersonic and laser weapons, the next-gen arsenal. The F-47 NGAD isn't just fast and stealthy, it's armed for the future. Beyond traditional missiles and MON, this fighter is designed to carry a new class of weapons that once lived only in science fiction. At the heart of its arsenal are hypersonic munitions and laser-directed energy systems, tools that will redefine aerial warfare. Hypersonic missiles capable of traveling 5 to 10 times the speed of sound give the NGAD the power to strike heavily defended targets from hundreds of miles away, before the enemy even knows it's coming. These weapons are nearly impossible to intercept and offer a level of range and velocity no other fighter in service can match. But it's the lasers that truly mark a turning point. The F-47 is expected to carry high-energy lasers capable of neutralizing incoming threats at the speed of light. Missiles, drones, even enemy aircraft, all could be targeted and destroyed mid-air with zero warning. Unlike traditional weapons, lasers don't run out of ammo. As long as the jet has power, it can keep firing. Silent, instantaneous, and devastating, they provide a shield no pilot has ever had before. This kind of firepower is more than overkill. It's strategic insurance in an age where the skies are filled with fast-moving threats. And to unleash it all, the F-47 needs one more edge: speed and reach. Saeed, altitude, and reach, a jet like no other. Where the F-22 Raptor was once considered the pinnacle of aerial performance, the F-47 NGAD takes things several steps further. With supercruise capability, it can fly at supersonic speeds for extended periods, without using afterburners. That means less heat, less detection, and more endurance over long-range missions. At altitudes exceeding 50,000 feet, the NGAD can operate in near-space environments, high above most tracking systems. From that vantage point, it has eyes on the battlefield in every direction, with the ability to strike or evade with ease. Whether it's crossing oceans, patrolling contested airspace, or responding to a crisis in minutes, the F-47 is built for reach. And unlike traditional strike jets that sacrifice maneuverability for range or speed, the NGAD is balanced across all fronts. It can turn sharply, evade missiles, and dominate dogfights just as easily as it can cruise silently over enemy radar networks. Agility and reach, two traits rarely found together, are now engineered into one frame. But performance alone doesn't win wars. In the age of data-driven combat, it's not just about how fast you fly, it's about how connected you are. A networked air force, total connectivity. In tomorrow's wars, victory won't go to the strongest or the stealthiest, it will go to the best connected. The F-47 NGAD is more than a fighter jet. It's a command node in a living, breathing combat network. With advanced data relays, AI processors, and multi-platform connectivity, the NGAD acts as the brain of every mission it joins. It shares targeting data with older fighters, feeds real-time surveillance to ground troops, and coordinates with satellites, ships, and UAVs. In effect, every platform near it becomes smarter. Legacy aircraft like the F-35 and even fourth-gen fighters can benefit from the NGAD's intelligence feeds, extending their relevance on the modern battlefield. The F-47 doesn't just see the battle, it synchronizes it. This isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. In chaotic, multi-domain environments where cyber attacks jam comms and enemy drones cloud the skies, the NGAD maintains clarity. It can reroute information through alternate channels, create digital redundancies, and push updates to units that would otherwise be blind. It's the connective tissue that binds a fractured battle space into one cohesive force. That level of coordination turns scattered skirmishes into orchestrated strikes. It transforms isolated squadrons into a single fluid organism capable of overwhelming response. Entire air wings can pivot in real time. Ground forces can receive air cover before they request it. Naval ships can retarget missiles based on mid-air surveillance. It's not just efficiency, it's dominance at speed. This integrated ecosystem becomes especially critical in joint operations with allies. The NGAD's open data architecture allows it to plug into NATO command systems or coordinate with coalition forces in multinational theaters. It can become the anchor of an international strike package, linking diverse assets into one unified combat rhythm. And it's a lesson learned not just in simulations, but on the real front lines of today's conflicts, where gaps in communication have cost lives, and the fog of war has left units vulnerable. The NGAD aims to lift that fog permanently. In the next war, the difference between chaos and command will be a jet like the F-47, flying high, thinking fast, and making every other asset around it smarter. Lessons from Ukraine and beyond. In Ukraine, drones have reshaped the battlefield. Cheap, fast, and effective, they've taken out tanks, spotted artillery, and harassed enemy troops at all hours. They've introduced a new layer to modern warfare, one that's decentralized, agile, and surprisingly lethal. From commercial quadcopters turned kamikaze drones to long-range reconnaissance UAVs, these machines have changed how wars are fought. But while they've proven their worth, they've also revealed their limits. In high-threat airspace, where electronic warfare, radar jamming, and anti-air defenses dominate, the survivability of drones plummets. They can be jammed, tracked, intercepted. What works on a low-intensity front doesn't always translate to high-end warfare against a peer adversary with sophisticated countermeasures. That's where the NGAD comes in, not as a replacement, but as a necessity. The future of air combat lies in the fusion of human judgment and machine precision. The F-47 NGAD bridges that divide. It gives the pilot the wisdom of experience, the instinct for nuance, and the moral clarity that machines still lack. Meanwhile, its onboard systems process threats, track targets, and manage battle space awareness at machine speed. Together, they form a hybrid mind, one that adapts, reacts, and survives where drones cannot. This fusion becomes essential in complex environments, dense urban centers, GPS-denied zones, or contested air corridors. The NGAD can make split-second decisions that drones aren't yet capable of, while also leveraging drone support as a force multiplier. It doesn't replace unmanned systems, it orchestrates them. Ukraine proved that unmanned assets are game changers, but it also proved they're not enough. Manned fighters still matter, especially ones that can fly deep, strike hard, and outthink the enemy. In a future conflict with a nation like China or Russia, relying solely on expendable drones would leave a dangerous gap in capability and control. The NGAD is built for that future, not just to fly, but to lead. It brings human leadership into the cockpit of an autonomous era, combining the creativity of the pilot with the speed of AI. In a world where rival powers are racing to redefine air dominance, leadership isn't optional. It's decisive, because this isn't just a new generation of jets. It's the beginning of a new philosophy of war. And in that new doctrine, the NGAD is both the vanguard and the vision. The sixth-gen race, who will rule the skies? With the arrival of the F-47 NGAD, the sixth-generation arms race is no longer theoretical. It's a global sprint. The United States and China are now locked in a high-stakes contest that will shape military balance for decades to come. Whoever dominates this new aerial frontier will control not just the air, but the battles below across land, sea, and cyberspace. For the U.S., the NGAD is more than a fighter. It's a declaration that in the face of rising peer threats, it will not yield its edge. That technology, strategy, and innovation will continue to converge in the cockpit of the world's most advanced aircraft. This isn't just about building a better jet. It's about securing the high ground of a new global order, where supremacy is measured in data, speed, and survivability. China's J-36 proves they're not far behind. Their rapid development cycles and bold AI integration show a willingness to take risks and rewrite the rules. But the NGAD's open architecture, its autonomous wingmen, and its unmatched blend of stealth, speed, and intelligence give the U.S. a head start, one that could define the outcome of future conflicts before they even begin. In this race, the prize isn't just superiority, it's deterrence. A sixth-gen fighter isn't only meant to fight, it's meant to prevent war by making it unwinnable for the enemy. It's a symbol of resolve, a flying ambassador of national strength, seen and unseen. As both nations pour billions into development, the sky itself becomes the new battlefield. Not just for firepower, but for influence, for control of emerging technologies, and for the symbolic grip on global power. This is no longer about dominating airspace. It's about defining the 21st century balance of power. And in that sky, the F-47 doesn't just fly. It leads, it listens, it learns. It's not the future of air combat, it is the future.